Everyone wants it, few have it. Welcome to the most comprehensive guide on YouTube on the best way to get fuck you money. Fuck you money is not about telling our bosses to screw off, but it's about not having to put up with hostile work environments. It's about having options and live a life worth living. It's about picking a job because we believe in the company's mission statement, not because we depend on a random paycheck. So in this video, I picked out the absolute best ways to leverage coding and turn it into cash that lasts multiple lifetimes. I'm also ranking each method while discussing the challenges you'll definitely face with each, such that you can weigh the pros and cons for yourself and do what you want to do. Because it can be done in many ways, you just have to pick your path. So the first method is this: high-paying jobs. You can make absolute bank by simply being a skilled worker in the field and land the right jobs. To make the most money though, you should look to specialize in a role that is in high demand, provides extreme value for the company, and is in low supply. There are immediately three categories that come to mind: IT security, cloud, and AI. Lack of security can lead to expensive lawsuits, customer churn, loss of confidential information, bankruptcy, and even jail. So companies pay their best security staff multiple six figures to secure the stuff. Cloud engineers are sought after because everything is rapidly moving to the cloud and almost all new IT projects are built on the cloud. Having the right cloud architecture and making the right trade-offs saves companies millions of dollars in annual operating costs. And the final niche is then AI. It's the smallest of the niches and arguably it's the hardest one to find success with, simply because there are orders of magnitude fewer job opportunities. But if you become a top-class AI engineer, you are undoubtedly amongst the most valuable workers in the world, period. Not just in the tech industry. But for now though, you can provide a ton of value to many companies as a machine learning engineer or data analyst. So simply being employed at a big company and working your way through the career ladder and assuming maybe a VP position or similar can make you a ton of money. But it won't be fuck you money though. These positions come with a crap ton of responsibility, but fuck you money is completely void of responsibility. You can only call it fuck you money if it comes with no strings attached on your end. So I'm gonna have to give this one a C. Joining a startup. This one is closely related to being an employee, but it has the caveat that it can make you rich within a few years. Startups can't afford to pay their engineers big salaries, but instead they offer equity in the business. And if it grows big and the company has a huge exit, you could find yourself owning equity worth millions. But don't be fooled, the equity is not free. You pay with the money you are not earning at an established company. So let's say you could make $100,000 a year working for some bank, but a startup offers you $60K plus equity. If you choose the startup, understand that you are paying $40,000 a year for the equity. So it's a bit hit or miss because most startups fail, and if you aren't business savvy, you might have a hard time recognizing the potential or lack thereof. I would have given this one a C or a B depending on your risk tolerance. But by joining a startup, you'll be in an environment of innovation and it might inspire you to build your own business and also show you the ins and outs of what it takes. On top of that, you'll likely meet interesting and innovative people and you never know where that network might lead you. That's what they call serendipity and I'm a sucker for it. To give you an example, an early software engineer at Facebook called Steve Chen worked there for just 3 months, then he co-founded YouTube, sold it to Google, and now has an estimated net worth of $500 million. That's fuck you money right there, so it's an A in my book. Freelancing. Now, responsibility-wise, this is where we enter fuck you territory, because you own your own business and you decide which projects to do and which clients to work with. Money-wise though, not so much. Sure, there is this one guy on YouTube who claims to make 7 figures on Upwork, but he is an extreme outlier. The thing is, these online freelance platforms are a race to the bottom, with engineers overseas undercutting you by 90%. Sure, you can stand out if you study the game closely, maybe take a course or two on how to build your profile and reputation and so on. Just note that you never know where your next meal is going to come from, and in the beginning you'll have to input a lot of effort for a very small outcome. Since the earnings potential is strictly tied to your time, and in the best of cases you won't make significantly more than a full-time employment, I don't think this is a viable fuck you money strategy. You also will have to take on projects you don't want to at times because you need the money. So yeah, let's give it a C. Contracting. This is what I'm doing and I love it. It's the first opportunity that has no opportunity cost because you'll make more than a full-time employment from the get-go. Contractors make double or triple the money of full-time employees that are at the same level. Let me repeat that. At the same level. You don't need to be some genius expert to get into contracting. If you make $100,000 a year as an employee, in my experience, the same skills can get you $200,000 a year or more if you get into contracting. However, you do forego fringe benefits such as free lunch, healthcare, paid time off, paid sick days, pension plans, paid vacation, life insurance, and so on. Furthermore, it's much easier to let you go, often within a week's notice or less, but if you are a healthy adult with few sick days and you get your things done, you don't need any of that. With the double paycheck, you can pay for your own meals, off days, vacation, insurance and pension plans. Also, don't worry about being let go because the demand for contractors is so big and the supply so small that you'll have a new gig within weeks. There's also a lot of potential to negotiate better deals in the form of work from home, extra work, less work, the notice period for cancelling the contract, etc. Everything is up for grabs. If you have time to do so, you can also work multiple contracts at once and it is less frowned upon than when employees do it. So this alone will double your income further. Even if you can't keep the workload of double working up for more than a few months, you'll have saved up the equivalent of a few years worth of working as an employee. As you grow your technical expertise and build out relationships with companies and recruiters over time, you'll also get offered better deals. And if all of that wasn't enough, you'll save a bunch in taxes as well. Because as a contractor, you operate as a business rather than an individual. And so you'll endure corporate tax and not personal income tax. In most countries, that means your tax bill shrinks by half the size. In Denmark, where I'm from, the corporate tax rate is 22%, while the personal income tax rate is 52%. So I'm paying less than half the taxes I used to. In practical terms, this allows you to keep most of the income inside of your company and then invest the money on behalf of your company, even before paying taxes. As an individual, you'll make money, pay taxes, receive what's left over, spend most, then invest the scraps. But as a company, you'll make money, pay yourself the little you need, invest most of it, then pay taxes at the end of the year, and a big chunk of the taxes will be paid by the passive income your investments made. So you'll be able to invest pre-tax money, and I just can't overestimate how big of a deal this is. For me personally, that meant being able to invest 10 times the amount I was able to before, essentially enabling me to reach my goal for my retirement portfolio 10 times earlier. Instead of 30 years, 3 years. Of course, this only works if you aren't a complete jackass who immediately starts spending the money instead of investing it. Live as you're used to, take all the extra cash flow and invest it in real estate and stocks, and make it a goal for that portfolio to surpass your income from contracting. And at that point, you know that you reached fuck you money territory. So a clear S tier for me. Next up, building a SaaS business. If, for whatever sick reason, contracting is not for you, you might want to consider building a SaaS business. Just know, besides technical skills, you'll need to have some digital design skills, business know-how, marketing and social media skills, and depending on your project, maybe having to hire a few freelancers to help with your skill gaps. With that said, some people have seen stupid success from so-called micro SaaS businesses. There are many videos on YouTube, so if you search for how I made money with a micro SaaS, you'll find a few of the stories and you can think about how you can replicate their success. If you decide to go this route, I'd advise you think of the simplest damn application you can think of that solves a small problem for many people. Don't immediately try to build the next Salesforce. You want to make $10 per month from 10,000 people each, and not $1,000 from 100 people. That way you can have a quick turnover between ideas, MVPs and launch products. Look at Tier Maker, which I'm using for this video. It's something that can literally be programmed in an afternoon, and yet millions of people use it, and there's no real operating costs. There's also TinyWow, which is a collection of small in-browser applications that convert PDF files, download Instagram videos and other small useful things. TinyWow gets over 6 million visitors a month, has almost no operating costs and is ran by a single guy. It only makes $20,000 a month because he didn't turn on monetization yet, only a few ads. But once he decides to monetize, overnight he'll start to make 6 figures every month. There's also this website called remove.bg where all it does is remove the background from an image that you upload. It had 100 million visitors in the year 2020 and got acquired by Canva in 2021 for God knows how many millions of dollars. I wanted to put this in S tier because it's the method with which you could make the most money out of all of these methods. Literally millions within months or a couple of years. But it is a bit hit or miss. You have to first get the right idea, ensure the scope doesn't creep on you, build the thing, figure out how to get traffic, and make sure no one outcompetes you. Getting traffic is extremely tough if you have no social media presence, so you either have to get lucky or spend a lot of time and money on ads with no guarantee of ROI. So there's a chance that you'll waste your time, never launch a usable product, and eat the opportunity costs. Compared to the guaranteed fuck you path I laid out with contracting, I just can't justify the S tier, so I have to give it an A. Cashing in on random opportunities. When you know how to program, sometimes random opportunities pop up that can be solved with small pieces of code. If you stumble upon them, the rewards can be hefty. In the year 2020, me and a friend found out that if you buy a potion in this one blockchain game, you'll make back 4 times the money that same day. A potion was worth 70 cents, so you could make around $3 per day with this method. But you had to play the game for about an hour. Essentially you would just be making $3 an hour, and it was capped at the $3 per day because you could just complete 1 quest per day. And so no one took a closer look at these potions. But this game had the policy that botting the game was okay, so me and my friend thought there might be some hidden potential to make some good money here. There were existing botting services out there that we could just use, but the problem was that creating an account was manual and cumbersome. The process required many clicks to register the account, creating a blockchain wallet, funding the wallet, interacting with the wallet, authorizing transactions, and so on. There were no APIs, so it was hard to automate, and hence no one had more than a few hundred accounts that they manually created. But I thought that if I could just automate the generation of emails, the creation of blockchain wallets, and automate the registration process using a script that automatically clicks the buttons on the website using a library that I knew called Selenium, then we could quickly create as many accounts as we wanted. So we worked on the scripts day and night, not sleeping for 5 days, and then we had a system built that would automatically register emails and accounts, fund the accounts, purchase the potions, and start botting. So we scaled from 1 account to 10,000 accounts within a week and essentially started making around $30,000 per day for the next few months. Eventually we lost a lot of these profits back to the crypto market, but hey, no one wants to hear that story. This whole thing happened because I had programming skills and a random opportunity showed itself on the internet and I was bold enough to take it. When this happens to you, don't hesitate to make use of this S-tier opportunity. And finally we have content creation. This one doesn't specifically tailor to programmers, but if you know programming, you have an advantage. Because content creation is all about reaching people and programming is all about building value. And if you combine them, you can reach people and provide value to them very easily. And the reason this is interesting is because making money is a 2-step process. 1, give value. 2, capture some of that value. That's also what you do as an employee. You provide value to your company and in return they give you a fraction of it. The only issue is that the fraction is a predetermined constant. Your salary. Whether you make the business $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, your salary is largely unchanged. But as a content creator, you have many ways to capture value and you'll receive a share directly proportional to the amount you give. For example, for ad revenue, you'll typically receive a CPM of $5, meaning $5 per 1,000 views. If you get 100,000 views, that's $500, and if you get 1 million views, that's $5,000. So unlike unemployment, your rewards scale with your results. Also, the total value that you can provide is much greater in my opinion. Through my YouTube channel, if I can teach just 1,000 people per year how to become software engineers, I've essentially provided $100,000 a year in value to each of them for a combined $100 million in annual value provided. I only need to capture a tiny amount of that to make it worth my while. On the other hand, it's hard to provide that amount of value as a single employee to an employer. Even if I knew how to, I simply wouldn't have have the political power to pull it through the bureaucracy of a company. Content creation is just a greater vehicle for leveraging value, and in my opinion, the best one. Because even if you want to do the other methods, if you have a content strategy and a community that values your opinion, it can greatly boost your success in finding a job, getting clients, or building an app. If you're building a game, for instance, it's much easier to get people to download your game if you build a YouTube channel first with 1 million subs documenting how you're building it, than if you build it behind closed doors. So what you can do is build your game, make videos on how you're doing it, and give tips to your viewers, and also tell inspiring stories about your journey that inspires your viewers to do the same. By the time your game is finished, you'll have thousands of people just waiting to play it. If you build it behind closed doors though, you'll have no one waiting for it, and you have to initiate some sort of expensive marketing campaign to maybe get people interested in the thing you just spent thousands of hours working on. Everyone should become a content creator in this day and age. And I lied in the beginning when I said that AI developers will be the last people to still have jobs. It's content creators. So a clear S tier for content creation. If you're eager to break into the industry in the most efficient way possible, I lay out the whole path step by step in this video. See you there next. Bye. Mr. Burns, sir, do you have any update on the, moving my whole desk situation? I'm at my limits. We cannot afford it. What do you mean, sir? We just had a record fiscal year. Yeah, I did have a good fiscal year, but we cannot afford it. Wow. Hold on. Why am I putting up with this? I don't need this job. My side gig just blew up the other day. Okay, let's do this. You know what? I don't need this. I quit. What do you mean you quit? It's the middle of the month. You quit now? No money this month for you. Of course I can. I have fuck you money now. I don't need it. What is fuck?